Hello everyone and welcome to topic 2, palliative care assessments with Ibu Siska. In today's topic, we will learn about the principles in palliative care and then discuss about the assessment needed in palliative care and also demonstrate completion of the assessments in lab and in clinical area. And then we can discuss about the nurse's role in responding to physical, psychological, social, and spiritual needs. So, when is the assessment conducted? The first one is when the patient is diagnosed with life-limiting conditions, as you know in the first week about concept in palliative care. And then episodes, if patients experience episodes of progressing or spreading of the disease such as cancer that's spreading to other organs. And then the third one is significant changes in the patient's family or at the request of the patients or family. And the last one is if the patient is dying or in the stage of end of life. We need to do assessment, we need to do reassessment in order to be able to modify our intervention. So these are the criteria for the patient referred to palliative care. You may read it slowly in the PowerPoint as additional knowledge. There are general criteria, cancer, neurological, and cardiovascular criteria. And in this slide, you can read about the general references about the patient in palliative care if there is any presence of serious illness and one or more of the following, such as the newly diagnosed as life-limiting illness, if there's any decreased ability to perform activities of daily living, if there's any weight loss, if there's any progressive metastatic cancer, and then if the patient retrieved from long-term care facilities such as nursing homes, if the patient having 2 or more hospitalization related to illness within 3 months period. And the seventh point is if there is uncontrollable physical or emotional symptoms. Here you can read more about the general references. You can read it slowly in the PowerPoint. And these are the criteria for cancer referral. If there is any metastatic or locally advanced cancer developed, and if there is any metastasis in brain, spinal cord, if there is any severe hypercalcemia, if there is any effusion in pleural, peritoneal, or pericardial. And these are for neurological criteria. If there is any patient that having feeding tubes, and then if the patient having the epilepticus status for over than 24 hours, if there is any ALS or other neuromuscular diseases with mechanical ventilation, if there is any recurrent brain neoplasm, and then 2 other diseases such as Parkinson, dementia, with independency in all activities of daily living. These are for cardiovascular criteria. If the patient having presence of physical symptoms like shortness of breath and emotional disturbance, and then having advanced heart therapy, but there is no definite consensus for cardiovascular referral criteria, but the important points are the sooner the better. And then the second one, please consider need-based criteria than disease-based criteria. So you can assess your patient, what is the needs of the patients, rather than focus on the disease, focus on the symptoms, focus on the therapy. So let's move to the main points. There are 4 domains of assessment in palliative care. The first one is physical, and then psychological, social, and spiritual. The first one is physical domain. In palliative care, we use ESAS. ESAS-R. So ESAS is for Edmonton Symptom Assessment System, and R is for REVISE. The ESAS tool is developed to assist the initial assessment of 9 symptoms that are common in palliative care patients, such as pain, tiredness, drowsiness, nausea, lack of appetite, depression, anxiety, shortness of breath, and well-being. And there is also the blank scale for patient-specific symptoms such as constipation or other things that patients complain to the nurse. And please remember, if the score is above 4, please explore more in-depth interview with PQRSTU or Palliative Provocative Quality Region Scale Time and Understanding, and follow up with the doctor. And the goal is to stabilize symptoms to an SS score or 5 or less within 4 until 6 hours, and to stabilize symptoms to SS score of 3 or less within 12 hours. So for example, if your patient having shortness of breath and she was complaining the score of SS is 9, so the patient is having a very severe shortness of breath, you can discuss to the doctor if there's any additional therapy such as nebulizer or any additional oxygen therapy. So the SS score with expected will be decreases within 4 until 6 hours. And this is the scale, so you can read here. There is scale number from 0 to 10. So 0 is for no pain and 10 is the worst possible pain. So as you can see in this slide, the score, the like higher score is the worst symptoms that experienced by the students. And then if the patient is less than 3, like saying the score is less than 3, so the patient is fairly okay, very good with the condition. But you may ask more, like, are you feeling depression? And the patient said that, well, yeah. So you can ask if from the scale 0 to 10, what is your scale of depression? And if the patient said that, well, I think 2 or 3, you can explore more, such as, can you explain? Can you tell me more about that? So we can really understand what is the score means to the patient. And then you can see after the well-being, you can write other problem that experienced by the patient. If there's no symptoms mentioned in pain, tiredness, drowsiness, but you can write another symptoms in the blanks after well-being. And you can write patient name and date of the assessment, what time, and then the score, the scale is completed. Is it by the patient, by the family caregiver, by the healthcare professional with interview with the patient, or if the scale is completed caregiver assisted. And here is the Indonesian version, the translated one. And also for this checklist, you can see in the picture, you may put the point or put the mark in the area that patient is complaining. For example, I have headache, so you can put the mark in the head area. Or the patient is feeling like burning in the chest, in the wound, so you can put the mark which part of the body that patient is experiencing. And you can see here there is a chart for graph, so you can write if the patient is in longer period of hospitality, so you can write the graph like vital signs for everyday assessment or weekly assessment in the community. So let's move to social domain. In social domain, the nurse can ask about family support. For example, who lives with you? Your husband, your children, or you can ask like, who cook every day for you, to a man, for example. So he can say my wife or my mom, rather than you ask for are you married or is there any husband or wife in your home. So you can ask like who cook for you every day. And then for example, if your patient is the lady or the woman 40 or 50 years old, So you can ask, are there other children or people still dependent on you? Because the person can say like, I am afraid who will taking care of my children if I am hospitalized. I am afraid who will taking care of my children if I die. So you can ask more about this. And then you can ask about any other thoughts about relationships in the family, such as my husband didn't really care to my mom or to my children. So you can explore more what is the patient needed in the social domain. And then you can ask about emotional and social support. So you can ask, do you have support from others if your husband didn't care for your life, such as family, friends, neighbors, or community? Do you need support from others? Who can we call if you have emergency status? So you can ask to the patient. And also for social domains, you can ask about practical conditions, such as, are there difficulties in moving or doing work? Are there any other thoughts about who is taking care of the future? And you can ask about financially also. Do you have any insurance or private insurance? You can ask. And then you can ask about patient's expectation. What are your expectations regarding treatment goals? The place for treatment, such as hospital, home, or other places. Because not every patient is comfortable sleep in hospital, taking care in the hospital. Usually the elderly patient, they prefer to be taking care at home, so the nurses can came to their home and then giving medication or anything else that he or she needed. And these are for psychological domain. You can ask about state of mind and mood, such as, have you felt in the past month feeling hopelessness or feeling helpless? Do you have any interest? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel tense or anxious? Have you ever had a panic attack? Was there anything specific you expected? And please ask this like politely and carefully. And then the next one is adjustment to pain. So you can ask about what is your understanding of current pain. You can ask about explore the patient's expectation of the nursing care. And more, you can ask about sources and strengths. You can ask what is your source of support. For example, your children, like people around you, your hobbies, gardening, for example, or watching movie. What is there any faith or beliefs that is really strengthen you? And then for total pain, you can ask more about, is there any psychological, social, or spiritual problems experienced that contribute to the symptoms? And you can ask also about the previous illness. So you can ask directly to the patient, or you can ask how about the previous illness in the family? Is there any risk of psychological stress and a history of mental health problems? And the fourth one is spiritual domain. Please remember, the spiritual care is beyond religious care. It includes respect for meaning and value of a human being. So, based on the research, spirituality is a part of dynamic dimension, very dynamic in a person's life. So, it relates to the way patients, as individuals and as the members of society, the patients can express themselves and seek meaning, purpose in life, and transcendence. So spirituality is the need to find meaning. Please remember about that. So it is not really tied to the religion. So it is the way to find meaning, to purpose and fulfillment in life, and the value of suffering and death, and also life after death. So the nurse can use any tools like Fika, faith, spiritual, and hope, or any tools that you can find in the articles and in the research in the journal. This is the example of Fika tools. Fika is stand for faith, importance, community, and address in care. So you can read it slowly and study in the PowerPoint that already uploaded in your e-learning. And this is for the tools, the HOPE tools. So it stands for source of hope, organized religion, personal spirituality and practices, and then is there any effect on medical care and end-of-life issues. So you can ask in the guidelines question here to the patients. And the lastly is the brief fatigue inventory. So the instrument is used to quickly assess the severity of fatigue, especially experienced by the cancer patient, but you can ask to any other palliative patients, as well as its impact to their ability to function over the previous 24 hours. You can read it here. You can see the number like 0 to 10 is similar like SAS score. So the more they have the number, the more increase the number. So the patient have more severe in symptoms or in fatigue. These are references that are used for this topic. Thank you.